Your child responds no to something and you just hold your breath. You know what's coming next, the dreaded meltdown. There may be screaming, stamping of feet, kicking, dropping to the ground, and flailing about. No matter how the tantrum looks, it is embarrassing and no parent wants to be there. But if we are ever going to stop the tantrums, we need to be firm and not give in. I'm Marisa from Call to Mothering, and I encourage and equip moms who are raising toddlers to teens. Today, I am going to give you some very practical steps and a plan for how you can respond to your child when they are having a tantrum. But before we get into that, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and ring that notifications bell so you know anytime I upload a new video. So first of all, don't reward the behavior. More often than not, when a child is having a tantrum, they are doing it simply because they don't want to do something that you've asked them to do. They don't want to pick up their toys or leave a friend's house. And if they don't want to do something and they're having or throwing a tantrum because of it, we have a responsibility as parents. Our responsibility is to teach them that this kind of behavior, throwing a fit, having a meltdown, all the hysterics that go with that, will not get them out of doing something that we've asked. If we give into the tantrum and because we're trying to avoid a scene, or we just want to avoid the unpleasant actions of our child, we are basically rewarding bad behavior. We are teaching them that in order to get what you want, you just have to be louder, you just have to be more obnoxious, you just have to throw a fit, basically. Second, you need to modify your expectation right away if you are not committed to waiting out the tantrum. For example, if you say, pick up your blocks, or something like, it's time to pick up your blocks, we need to go, and your child screams no. So you know that a meltdown is probably on the horizon. They're getting worked up and they're getting frustrated and their emotions are rising. This is your chance to pause and modify your expectation by saying something like, pick up 5 blocks and put them in the bucket, please. You are still telling your child to pick up the blocks, but you have now broken up the task into more manageable steps. Young children often have difficulty making sharp transitions from one activity to another. So putting it this way just makes cleaning up less overwhelming for them. When young kids whose self-control and emotional regulation are underdeveloped become overwhelmed, they start to melt down. So once your child has put 5 blocks into the bin, have them put another 5 away, and then another 5 until all are picked up. You can also pull out the first then statement. If you want to stick with your initial expectation of having your child pick up all the blocks at once, say for example, first pick up your blocks, then we can go to the park. Again, you are still expecting your child to do what you've asked, but you're also giving them something they can look forward to when the task is complete. Another way to help your child make transitions from one activity to another and prevent tantrums is to set reminders or do a countdown. This is where you remind them, we are leaving in 10 minutes. And then you remind them again in 5 minutes after that. And then say, we are leaving in 2 minutes. So you're incrementally counting down or counting really your way up to the transition that is coming their way. You can also set a timer and have them see how much time they have left. I even started this at 20 minutes sometimes when I knew my son would have an especially difficult time making a transition or switching between activities. You could provide an incentive as well for a transition that you know will be especially difficult for them. But you only have one shot at this. That's because if you use this strategy, you must do it proactively and you must make it part of your initial request. So that means when it is time to transition, you need to offer the incentive initially. If you offer it after there is any kind of whining or back talk, then you will be reinforcing the bad behavior and not the successful transition. So make sure you say something like, I know you don't want to leave. This has been really fun. But if you make a good choice and leave now when it's time, you can add 10 minutes to your screen time when we get home. Then be sure to follow through and don't give in to any tantruming behaviors. Giving in might seem easier at the time for the moment, and we might avoid, a scene and the unpleasant actions that go along with a tantrum. But you can't reward inappropriate behavior that as a way to avoid responsibility. You are taking the longer and harder road, but it does pay off in the long term, and it benefits your kids so much more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you were encouraged, and remember, you are not just a mom.